ClowdyWorld, and today, man, we're talking about the sad passing of the rapper Enchanted, signed to 1017, otherwise known as Gucci Mane's artist. And when we talk about her passing, we kind of got to relate it to a bigger issue with the whole 1017 label as a whole, because 1017's label just continues to have really serious issues plaguing them over and over and over again. We can talk about Pooh Shiesty, who's serving 8 years, or Big Scar, one of my favorite young artists who passed away, I believe in 2022. Even talking about Enchanting, who before, sadly yesterday, was on life support. We can even talk about Fujiano serving 5 years, and even Hot Boy West serving 15 years. Y'all might not even know about artists like K Sade, which were dropped from the label, and Robey, who were also dropped from the label for dealing with their own legal issues. And who could forget the well-known and very well-respected hood rich Pablo Juan, who was also facing RICO charges. And a lot of people like to think about two different perspectives on this, and I want to really break that stuff down. So we're going to be getting back to Enchanting, but to kind of give you an understanding, this issue a lot of people have kind of been stemming from is that most always say, well, these artists were already living that life and that Gucci Mane only gave them an opportunity to get out of those situations. Because honestly, many people don't know, even Pooh Shiesty was only a rapper for about 3 months before he blew up. He used to be a running gunner. So all this stuff kind of goes into it. But I don't really think that's fair, and we can't let him off the hook just for that, because being a label owner and signing someone isn't just giving them money and a platform. And I think that's the biggest issue, is that these bigger labels have kind of funneled that mentality, because labels were designed originally to help bring an artist to a higher stage, make money, and also produce and help them elevate their sound quality and just elevate everything about their entire understanding of what they are as an artist. A label is supposed to bring attention, it's supposed to help them with marketing, it's supposed to bring them quality content and allow them to reach areas that they've never thought they possibly could. And I really want to think about that and kind of break that down, because these label issues that Gucci Mane does has been a consistent thing for almost a decade. He just gives them money and lets them do whatever, and that's not cool, bro. Like, Big 30 is one of my favorite artists as well. He's also signed to Gucci, I believe at the time, or at least at one point he was, and he's one of the few that can stay out of trouble, man. Everyone else is just locked in, and I'm sorry to say that stuff, but it hurts when I see it, because these are so many people in their young mid-20s that, bro, beyond setting bad examples and stuff like that, like, they're permanently going to be affected by this. God forbid they may not be hot in a few years, because most artists can't survive a 3 to 5 year gap in music, even if they do a prison bid. The only ones that I could see making this comeback are Pooh Shiesty. It's very hard to do. Even Gucci Mane is one of the extraordinary cases, and that's because he has such a cult fan base of people that respected what he did. He put on for the A heavy. So breaking all this stuff down, I'm gonna correlate it and bring it back kind of to what Enchanting and who she is, because when we talk about Gucci Mane and who he was, we kind of gotta bring it to what 1017 is, because Gucci Mane was born February 12th in 1980 in Bessemer, Alabama, to a former U.S. serviceman and a power plant worker, Ralph Dudley, and a social worker, Vicky Jean Davis. Now, he had a strong military background, bro, and his grandfather served in the military for 12 years. That man been locked in and kind of been on that type of mentality, and you can tell because the way he moves and handles things feels like a general, much more than it does a label and a record label owner. He handles business, but after that, what's business if your entire label can't even appreciate anything besides you who's getting the dividends? It just leaves a lot of people wanting more. So that man Gucci Mane was raised by his grandmother, and his mother taught him to read at a young age and first started teaching that man scriptures. Eventually, through elementary school, he was introduced to hip hop when Davis was 6 years old by bringing a Run DMC and Beastie Boys concert over there in Atlanta. Now, Davis had a distant relationship with his father, who would visit whenever he kind of felt like it, and stopped when Davis's father had 2 children with another woman, and kind of phased Gucci Mane at a young age out of his life. Now, he moved back with his mother in Atlanta, and as things kept going on, he kind of started getting into things deeper. He kind of started getting into dealing around 1993 up to the new 2000s, where he got a lot of good grades at the time, but he never actually took stuff for the first few years. But he was dealing a lot of stuff and was gassing on cannabis with his girlfriend. He entered a kind of an arrangement with a girl where he smoked regularly with her, and led to a slight psychological addiction. And while he never encountered a violent situation, when he was 15, he was push running his bicycle when a man stopped him and pointed a Desert Eagle at his head, and he got robbed for all of his items. and he began after that point to carry a 380 handgun. Gucci Mane would never get caught lacking again. Yet it's sad because when we talk about some of his early artists, it seems like his artists themselves are dealing with the same issues that he barely escaped in his own early life. You see, Texas rapper Enchanting passed away at age 26, and Gucci Mane confirmed the tragic news on June 11th, amid reports of her being on life support. Now Enchanting, born Channing Nicole Larry, signed to Gucci Mane new 1017 Records in 2020 before departing the record label last year. Now, it was so sad to have to say RIP to such a great young lady. A true star, we gonna miss all of you, Shant, Levon Shanting, and LA Flair captioned the post featuring a photo of Enchanting rocking a pair of 1017 chains. Now, most comments and sentiments were well wishes, while some attempted to even blame Gucci Mane for her passing, and even tied him to a downfall of other 1017 affiliates. Now, Guap's wife, Keisha Coyer, stepped in to defend her grieving father. Oh, I apologize. Her grieving husband. Leave him alone, she wrote. He signs these artists to help them and give them a better life. I wish it wasn't like this. Shant, we love you, girl. Ree. Now, Love Scar / No Love Deluxe served as Enchanting's last album in 1017, which arrived in November of 2022, nearly 2 whole years ago, was featured several collaborations with Gucci Mane, such as Big Shant, Large Amounts, It's a Photo Shoot, and No Love, alongside the late Big Scar and Key Glock. Now, Enchanting affiliate Lil CJ Casino also paid homage to the late rapper with a heartfelt post to Instagram regarding their passing. He said, "They pulled the plug, bro. This stuff is just so effed up. I just knew you was finna pull through, Siobhan. You gon' forever be top 6 princess and casino first lady. They don't know all hours you spent at the casino studio sleeping there, making music, putting this all together. And you went way further than us always said. I was always proud of you, and I hope you know how proud I always was." Now, this situation overall is just very sad because it leads into so many other questions that other people have been bringing up about Gucci Mane and his consistent kind of enabling / ignorance of what his artists do. As a label owner, you have to bring them out of that lifestyle. I personally know direct connections I have with record labels where they put these artists in different apartment complexes in states completely out of that lifestyle, bro. And they put them out of there so that they can focus in on their music and focus on the craft and the purpose. Because when you keep them in that reality, in that environment, all you're gonna do is stir up envy and stir up issues that they already had going on before they were popping. And I'm saying that not to say that every label has to do stuff like that and cash out, but you gotta understand, record labels are an expensive and very high monetary business. If you cannot protect your assets, don't invest in it in general. That's for any field with any amount of risk and things like that. And the reality is these artists are their assets. So if you're gonna look at them on a business expense and get their insurance money, the least you can do is make sure they're somewhere safe. ClowdyWorld, and I wanna know you all's thoughts overall about the situation. Give me your thoughts how you feel about Enchanting's passing and what you think it relates with Gucci Mane. Do y'all feel like Gucci Mane is getting falsely done dirty and that people shouldn't be so hard on him? Or do you feel like there's a little bit of truth to where 1017 needs to do a little bit better job of taking care of, managing, and overall just protecting their artists? ClowdyWorld, and we gone.